Oh, I'm live now. Hi. Refresh the page. We have some problem with the connection, so I think we are fine now. Okay, and I'm one moment. Okay, so hello, I'm Dr. Maria. I'm an integrative anti-aging and regenerative medicine specialist. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 4 pillars in my book. It's no-code medicine. And you had a few videos already before this, and this is about healthy aging. Stress can cause several symptoms, such as dizziness, headache, tired eyes, blurry visions, hair loss, throat constrictions, right? Neck pain, all kind of pain, neck pain, chest pain, stomach pain, back pain, buttock pain, muscle tense, oversleep, insomnia, bloating, constipation, or diarrhea. Some have changing in hormones and they miss their monthly period. Some have high blood pressure, sugar imbalance or overeating, lost appetite or eat more due to the emotions, uncontrolled sadness, and some feel like they're crazy or psychotic. Why is that so? Well, this is because there are chemical involved. It's called cortisol, stress hormone from the adrenal that can increase or decrease when in the advanced stage. Another one is called adrenaline, another hormone that automatically increases when you are excited. The same as epinephrine is a vasoconstrictor. It is a blood pressure support. GABA, which is gamma aminobutyric acid, is actually a chemical that goes up when you excrete energy. Now, the idea is live healthier and longer is the goal. We must delay the aging process. How to do that? You need to prevent major diseases. If you don't, you go from one disease to another, and due to the use of the drug and its side effects as medication that are properly prescribed by your physician, then you will age faster. Can you think about like someone who is 60 years old that feel and look like 40, or 70 like 50? Although we know that people age at a different rate, but science has proven that we can delay aging for 20 years. If you reach 90 years old, your aging process has been delayed. Why? Because life expectancy is 80 years old in United States. What about those centenarian, which reach 100 years old? They live longer, right? But they stop being sick. The nightmare is live longer, but being sick. However, I have several findings that are not what we think that will be. For example, 108 years old Helen Irving, she has a CPT genotype problem, but she lives as a centenarian, 108. Some people who reach 100 has a history of smoking and bad habit. And guess who? Vegetarian. They represent only 2% of the centenarian. 50% of the centenarian were overweight. 20% were obese. 30% they smoke. And only 2% they are vegetarian. You know, one famous actor or Jay Leno said, those who drink and partying live longer. But I think that is due to happy feeling. When you don't have stress or you party, you know, that is the hormone that you produce is serotonin, which is happy hormone. Those unique people that are that has a unique gene represent 4% of the world populations. Who has a longevity genes will think it doesn't matter. But it matters to us because we are average people that has an average gene. Studies suggest that dwarfism or small size, like pony compared to horse, lives longer than normal height. And yet, growth hormone has been manipulated in many animals, like the worm, the fruits, the flies, monkey, to see if they can grow bigger or taller. Okay. The study at Einstein Institute of Longevity suggests who has a lower human growth hormone lives twice as long as the higher one. But when you compare the spending cost, the study compared the 70 years old, and they found that health saving is 1/3 of the cost compared to those who compare to the people with the short-time sickness. You save money. Some drugs are also being made for prevention of stress, but no drugs are claimed now for prolonged aging yet. You do not want to prolong aging. You want to prevent aging and stay healthy. Only drug used for a diseases will be covered anyway by insurance. And if you use it for prolonging life, I think they will not cover it. Stress control is the key to healthy aging. Okay, what is considered good stress? Well, good stress is usually the short-term stress. Stress that we need to promote excitement and also temporarily and tolerable. For example, during the singing competition, you can see they're happy, although the stress can be very intense. Okay, like when you watch the American Got Talent, I watch that a lot. I like that. But you can control it and it's only temporary. So that is good stress. We need normal, healthy stress to survive because without stress, there is no motivation, and we should be able to cope with this daily stress. The study showed that we can intervene the hippocampus atrophy or reverse it to preserve the memory or our activity. Now, that was good stress. And now, what is bad stress? Bad stress is chronic one and usually is longer than 6 months and you have no solution is very bad. Because it continues and prolonged, it will change the brain's chemical. The chemical imbalance in the brain might create a problem such as neurodegenerations and eventually will become what we call diabetic type 3 or Alzheimer's disease. Stress of caregiver who takes care of these people is always a moderate to severe because every day they have to see this kind of problem, right? Meeting any deadline for budget also can be a moderate to severe stress. Political climate can be a good or bad stress, depending which channel you listen to. And hopefully you limit the hours you listen to the news nowadays. Okay, maybe 20 minutes a day, twice a day, that's good enough. Losing a loved one, like death in the family or people who you love, is a big stress. I think that is a severe stress. And if it's longer than 6 months, then it will become a major diagnosis, what we call depressions. Encouraging social contact, support will help them to cope with this kind of stress. Usually, bad stress has a negative connotation, right? So, bad stress can kill. So, how to eliminate stress? You must try. You must become radically a different person and think differently. Stress can go away by itself if you think that way. You must take a look at the cause and to be able to identify what's the cause. So there are many causes of stress. Okay, let me name few of them. Financial stress, and they always think that they don't have enough money. Relationship, spouse, children, friends, business and career, expecting more income, or it is not going to be the income that they expected. That is a stress. And then health issues, like in competition or close family who are ill. Those are health issues that cause stress. Another one is political situation. Okay, when there is like a crime going on, riot, or too many things to do but not enough time is also stress. Unsatisfied with current condition, for example, underachievement, unemployment, right? Now, what about abuse? Personal abuse, bullies, harassment, unsolved relationship and conflict can be very stressful. Lost control, you just do not have control of think and think only to control but never ever can control it. It's very stressful. Some people who has physical disability and causing low self-esteem is also very a bad stress. Does stress affect our age management? Yes. It impacts actually at the cellular level. When your cellular level oxygenation becomes imbalanced, you have damages. Can we do something about it? Yes. In my office, we have a hyperbaric oxygen, hyperbaric ozone treatments, which can actually alleviate depression and this central insult. How do we reduce this bad stress? Well, the secretion of excessive cortisol, which is the stress hormone, which causes aging process, this we have to lower this cortisol level. We identifying the symptoms. So in my practice, I protect the brain first by using some formula to reduce anxiety, because they start with anxiety. When we age, the night level of cortisol will goes up and it might remain elevated. So we need a bit more adrenals and adaptogen to prevent fatigue. Some of our products is called BrainWorks for the initial fatigue or adrenal fatigue stage 1 and 2. And then you cannot handle it still, then you have to take a little more of adrenergic that has many adaptogen in there. And you might need to use complex to calm your anxiety. The BrainWorks, which is for irritability and anxiety, is a combination of GABA, L-theanine, huperzine, and huperzine plant extract. And the BrainWorks for the initial stress, right? Like you have a foggy brain. And this also has phosphatidylserine, which is good for memory, and Bacopa, eleuterol. The adrenergic, which is when you identify that the patient already has adrenal fatigue syndrome, you can use ashwagandha, adrenal, rhodiola, or licorice, chisandra berry, and holy basil. Stress can affect inflammations, right? In 2011, there was a study, very interesting, that they used testosterone hormone that reduced inflammation effects of the patients. I usually adjust this testosterone by introducing also the precursor, which is called DHEA sulfate, and also give a little bit of serotonin that helps balance the cortisol. Remember, in my stress video, the previous video, I think that was the initial video, there were 4 kind of stresses. Happy stress, number 1, which is usually cause physical damage only. And patient, we encourage them to balance their nutrition. If they cannot balance it through the diet, they have to take supplements. And then establish the aging markers, do detoxification, and continue with the annual checkup. This is for happy stress. The mental stress can cause physical and psychological damage. Okay, we encourage them to see who they are. Then they like music, they listen to certain music or read some books and watch nice movies, having spa, massage, myofascial release, right? So the third one is pharmaceutical stress. This is a long-term drug usage. I try to wean them off as much as I can and change it to what can reduce the cause of the illnesses. So we often do detoxification and change their lifestyle. This is a must. The fourth one, the last one, is environmental stress. This is allergies, mutations, detox, and then I do balance their hormone. How to reverse damage due to the stress? As I have mentioned it, the hyperbaric oxygen can help repair by stimulating and regenerate omnipotent stem cell. After 20 sessions of like an hour each session, we can see the real effect, and the stem cells is looking for all the organs that are damaged by the stress. This is using the oxygen. For example, we take an example, the most important organ is brain. Brain actually is only 2% of our body. It's only 2%. But it consumes half of the cardiac output, what the heart pumps out. Half of it goes to the brain needs that. And it also takes 25% of the sugar in the body. We only use 5% of the brain capacity because we don't have enough oxygen. This is the study. We can only use 5%. That is why we need to regain for the rejuvenation. Right? Okay. Hypoxia, which is lack of oxygen, is the real cause of the dead tissue in the brain. We call it silent insult. This tissue has this tissue is dead in the center. That's why it's called, this is called silent insult. And it happened already since the age of 25 in the center of the brain tissue. But the circular area of the damaged tissue still can be rejuvenated using hyperbaric oxygen or blood ozone therapy. And it does stimulate the angiogenesis, which is the new blood vessels. You can see in a stroke patient, for example, it rejuvenates. Or ability of this brain activity is, our ability of the brain activity is very important. And we call this rehabilitation, which is my primary specialty. Motor, cognitive, memory, all can be improved if you want it. Even though we need stress for motivational, but we also do not want over stress. The goal is to die young inside, in a very old age outside. So biological age is more important than physiological age. Thank you very much for listening, and let me see if there is any question here. Let's see how to see. Okay, here, let me see. Do you see questions? Hi, Cynthia. Okay. Do you recommend meditation? I do. Meditation is very good, and there are so many level of meditation, and you have to learn it. I have a friend who have built a church, and they call it a church. It's just, meditation. When I did my questionnaires for the anti-aging questionnaires, I was not allowed to use prayer there. Instead, we put meditation. So some people said, I don't meditate, but I pray. So meditation, if you know how to use it, how to do it, it is going to be tremendous help. So that is another way to do it without taking any medication. There are some classes that you can sign up and they teach you from stage 1. I think there are like 13 stages or something like that. And many people has to learn years, like maybe 1 or 2 years before they can even pass stage 1. So don't be discouraged. Yes, I do recommend meditation. For some people who has a type A personality, it's very difficult because there is a technique for that, because you have to empty your mind and things like that. Okay, thank you for asking. And see, I cannot see this one, is so small. Okay, so if you have more question, could you please go to the comment after this is posted. So usually they post it at midnight, and you can see this again the next day. All right, thank you so much for listening, and see you next in the next event, which is I'm going to discuss about hormone. Okay, thank you.